Well, guys, it seems the government's given up on bat flu completely. Well, at least for now anyway, we should say. Yesterday they announced an end to all travel restrictions, including for the unjabbed heathens who refused to follow the science. Obviously, we should be saying they followed the actual science and common sense while ignoring never-ending propaganda that's now gone like a fart in the wind to allow the Russia-Ukraine propaganda to flow. Of course, the bedwetting bat flu zealots out there will be screaming about this happening, but right now they're being ignored because war's on the agenda. These people, they obviously preferred it when the government was lying about people needing a jab to go on holiday, which, let's be honest, was only ever employed to increase uptake, as not once did a rule exist stopping the unjabbed leaving the country, despite many people thinking it did. Of course, some countries had restrictions against the unjabbed, but we can't help that one there, obviously. Here, the government just lied about the need for a jab for you to go on holiday. This is actually something each and every one of them should be held personally responsible for, especially when it comes to those whose lives have been affected since taking it. The FDA's court-ordered document showing the ridiculous amounts of side effects recently now backs up a lot of people's claims that they have suffered after taking it, so justice needs to be done if you ask me. Unfortunately, as you likely know, it won't be, but at least these stupid travel restrictions are going from Friday, even if it's not the end of it, because rules and laws remain in place, ready to come back in future. It's actually something I've covered before. Obviously, they all need to be stopped, just like these travel restrictions are, which I obviously support happening, but like I said, you gotta watch out from trying to bring them back. Here it states all COVID travel restrictions to be scrapped in boost for Easter holidays. Grant Shapps announces end of passenger locator forms required for Britons returning home and testing for unvaccinated passengers. So there, like I said, the unjabbed heathens won't have to take part in their test, though let's be honest, I know of many people who didn't do it anyway and still went on holiday to multiple countries over the past 2 years. It says all COVID restrictions on foreign travel are to be scrapped in time for families planning to go abroad for Easter holidays. I'm pretty sure most people have already tried to bloody plan it. Dropping this now is a bit of a piss take when you could have done it months ago, let's be honest. And in fact, I would actually go as far as saying they will never be in there, but if we're being charitable for these tosspots, then months ago is at least what they could have done. It says Grant Shapps, the Transport Secretary, will announce on Monday that passenger locator forms will be axed from 4 a.m. on Friday. Testing for unvaccinated passengers required to enter the UK will also be dropped, ending the final restrictions on travel. It means holiday makers will be able to enjoy frictionless travel entering the UK for the first time since the pandemic began in spring 2020. Yep, literally a week or so away from it being exactly 2 years to the bloody day. If that don't show you that these people have been taking the piss out of you, then I really don't know what was. 3 weeks to flatten the curve turned into like 102 weeks to take the piss out of us. It says at present only fully vaccinated arrivals can enter the UK without the need for tests. However, they must fill in a passenger locator form within 72 hours of travel, sharing their address, telephone number, passport and flight details. So like I said, there is absolutely no requirement for jab or anything like that to go abroad. This is just something the government put out there to increase the uptake among the young. Literally coercion, bullying or whatever you want to call it, but that's what they did. It goes on, the forms were launched 2 years ago when arrivals had to quarantine at home to help check whether travels were following the rules. Mr. Shapps has been pushing to scrap them in time for Easter. Yeah, but he's also the tosspot that brought him in, is he not? I could be wrong on that one, but I'm pretty sure it was. Unjabbed heathens who arrive in the UK currently have to take a rapid pre-departure test within 48 hours of travel and a costly PCR swab by day 2, which hasn't some professor or some shit come out and said was completely pointless because they were popping up people that were false positives, something many of us said in 2020. It says, announcing the move, Mr. Shapps said the changes are possible due to our vaccine rollout and mean a greater freedom in time for Easter, because of course he bloody would. Flight bookings already surged after tests for fully vaccinated arrivals were ditched on February 11th, even returning to pre-pandemic levels for some destinations. Easter could boost bookings even further. Which, yeah, it obviously could, and it's a good thing that it's going to, but let's be honest, you could have done that earlier, like I said. It goes on, Heathrow announced that it would abandon compulsory face masks at the airport from Wednesday. British Airways and Virgin will also drop the requirements on flights to destination where their use is no longer mandated. So yeah, that's actually something good that I obviously support, getting these face nappies off of people. In fact, any place that demands any of that, locator forms, test jabs, or anything else to go to, would be outright boycotted by me, not just back then, but in the future. If they ever had it in place, I'm never going there, you can be sure. It says other countries such as Belgium and Greece are ditching their COVID passenger forms. However, Portugal, Spain and France and other EU countries still require tests for unvaccinated travellers. I expect that's going to change pretty bloody soon. Now, the rest of it is just them talking a bag of bollocks which I don't care about. Really, the only thing that matters is that this bullshit is being dropped. Obviously, like I said at the beginning, there still needs to be more done. Everything related to these past 2 years needs to be kicked to the bloody curb. And also, as I said at the beginning, people obviously need to be held responsible for the bullshit that they've spewed out over the past 2 years, and especially over the past year, I would say.